Hi, welcome to my second guide in this series, this time about Karma, the Enlightened one. I decided to make a guide on her because she's a lot of fun to play, she kind of feels underrated after all the buffs that she's gotten lately, and I feel like not many people know what she can do exactly. Like last time, you can use the annotations at the start to skip the sections you might need. And new to this video is the teamfight section, since I felt this was missing in the last video. Enjoy, and I hope the guide will be helpful to you. Karma is a mage with heavy support aspects, offering not only great damage thanks to her crazy ratios, but also good supportive abilities. She can be played as an AP mage or a support, but in this guide I'm going to focus on playing her in the mid lane, since that's my main role. What makes Karma unique is the fact that she only has 3 real abilities. Her ultimate does not do anything on its own, but instead enhances these 3 abilities. This gives her a lot of depth and lets you make many choices during the game. She works well in prolonged teamfights, and in teams where protecting the carry is important. To avoid confusion, let's start with her ultimate, Mantra. As said before, Mantra enhances the next ability that Karma uses within 8 seconds. It is available from level 1, but can be leveled up 3 times like any other ultimate. The cooldown scales both with level and cooldown reduction. What's important to know is that the additional effects from any abilities scale with the rank of Mantra. Therefore, it doesn't matter which ability you level up first, because the effects from Mantra will always be the same. Karma's passive is Gathering Fire. Damaging an enemy champion with any ability will reduce the cooldown on Mantra by 2 seconds. Damaging a champion with an auto attack will reduce it by 1 second. If you hit multiple champions with a single ability, the cooldown will be reduced for every champion hit. This allows you to gain multiple uses of Mantra in a short amount of time. Karma's Q is Inner Flame. It fires a skill shot that deals magic damage in a small circle when it hits a target. It also slows everyone hit for a short amount of time. The radius of the explosion is fairly small, but it's a good skill to safely farm minions. In the following example, you see that I cannot hit the minion that's hiding behind the others, but instead I have to hit the minion in the center to farm the wave.
We must all make our choices.
When Mantra is used, Karma's Q turns into Soul Flare. It deals bonus magic damage and it leaves behind an area that slows enemies for 50%. After 1.5 seconds, this area explodes, dealing even more magic damage. The area is always centered on the target it hits, but if nothing is hit, the area will be created at maximum range instead. This is a great tool for harassing and should be abused during the whole game to poke and zone your enemies. Karma's W is Focused Resolve. It tethers an enemy for 2 seconds, dealing magic damage and revealing it. The damage is dealt in 3 intervals, and your passive is applied with every tick. The enemy will be rooted if it stays within range for the full duration. When Mantra is used, Focused Resolve turns into Renewal. The tether deals bonus magic damage, but also heals Karma for at least 25% of her missing health. The heal scales with ability power, but only for 1% for every 100 AP. Obviously, this ability will be most effective when you're low on health. It allows for great baits and turnarounds. Karma's E is Inspire. It shields the target for 4 seconds and grants it a short duration but high percentage movement speed buff. It gives you good survivability and lets you both chase and run away with ease. When Mantra is applied, Inspire becomes Defiance. The shield is applied like normal to the target, but a certain amount of the shield, as well as the movement speed buff, are also applied to every allied champion surrounding it. And finally, magic damage is dealt to every enemy surrounding the target. So basically, this ability is a Locket, a Shirelia's Reverie, and some kind of magic damage Tiamat active all in one package. Use it when you want your team to catch up to someone, when your team is trying to escape, or when your tank is in the middle of the enemy team if you want to deal damage to everyone surrounding him. When the game starts, I usually start out with my Q. However, I don't pick a skill yet until the minions have arrived in my lane. This is because sometimes I need my shield at level 1 to protect a teammate or for invades. Mantra is available from the start, and the 40% team-wide speed buff is very strong this early in the game. I get my E at level 2 because the high movement speed buff is really good against early ganks. My W is obtained at level 4, and after that I just max out my Q, because it's Karma's main form of harassment. It also makes it really easy to farm. What to max out next depends on if you want more damage or more survivability. I prefer leveling up the shield first. Not only does the shield get bigger, but the movement speed buff is also increased. And finally, level up Mantra whenever possible. Like with most other mages and my Syndra guide, I go for a standard AP page. Magic Pen marks, flat mana regen seals to farm and harass with your Q, ability power per level glyphs and flat ability power quints. I sometimes swap out the glyphs for flat magic resist. But I don't do this often because I feel that Karma's shield usually offers enough protection if used right. Masteries are pretty standard as well, going for 2109. I take flat attack damage for easy or less hitting, and as always I go for my beloved biscuit. I start the game off in two possible ways. Most of the time I go for a double fairy charm and 3 health potions. If the enemy jungler is very dangerous early, then I'll go for 1 fairy charm, a side ward, 5 health potions and a mana potion. I prefer the double charm start though, because the 40% movement speed buff from your level 1 shield makes it very hard to gank you early game. Also, the extra mana regen lets you both farm and cast more shields to protect yourself from enemy harass. My core items besides boots are an Athene's Unholy Grail and a Rod of Ages. Karma has quite some mana issues when trying to maximize your poking potential, and these items fix that problem perfectly. It also provides good durability thanks to the magic resist and the big health bonus. You don't want to blow up immediately when you're in range of your W, and if you use Mantra on it, these items will make you heal for way more effective health. Because Karma's ratios with Mantra are so good, I usually build a death cap as my next offensive item. Another possibility is Liandry's Torment, since the passive will do twice the damage for most of the duration, thanks to the slow in your Q. I finish my build with an Hourglass and a Void Staff. Your W will keep ticking during the Hourglass active, so use this to your advantage. Sometimes I buy a support item if I feel that my team needs better protection though. Both Shirida's Reverie and Locket stack very well with your Mantra shield. Michael's Crucible is also a good alternative.
You must prepare for war.
In lane, you're going to want to harass your opponent with your Q as much as possible, but without pushing the lane. If your opponent is being smart by hiding behind the minions, it might be possible to hit them anyway by using a Mantrid Q instead. Otherwise, try to force them away. Also, auto attacks are very important. Not only does it deal damage to your opponent, but every second shaved off your Mantra cooldown will make the lane easier for you. If your jungler wants to gank, you can wait for them to initiate. Use your shield to get yourself into position, then fire your Mantard Q and your W for the slow and root. This way it won't be too obvious to your enemy that your jungler is nearby.
You have slain an enemy. You have been slain.
Another great way to help your jungler gank your lane is by speeding yourself up, using your W on your enemy, and then firing a Mantard Q right when the root is about to go off. This guarantees the bonus damage from the explosion, and it allows your jungler to catch up easily. Karma's skill set allows you to bait enemies really well, but you have to figure out yourself what's safe and what's not. For example, you can also use this combo if you're confident that you'll win the trade without your jungler. Always try to poke down your opponents with Mantrad or non-Mantrad Qs. Both the base damage and the AP ratio are very high, and people often underestimate the damage. Karma is really great at kiting and baiting opponents. Just think about it, you can slow enemies, speed yourself up, root an enemy and even heal yourself at the same time. I've said it before, but a big part of Karma is knowing what the limits of both you and your enemies are. When a fight looks really bad, you might still be able to turn it around. In the following example, I kind of failed because I didn't shield myself from the final minion damage. I somehow didn't expect it, I guess. But you can clearly see how it's possible to turn the fight around. Also, sometimes people will just walk in your mentor queue when chasing you. If only you knew how hard I was laughing when this happened. In teamfights, you will have to judge if the fight is in your favor or not, because you have several options and you can initially only use your mantra once. Use your mantra at Q if you have a clear shot on a high priority target. You can also do this if you know it will hit at least several enemies. In teamfights, only use your mantra at W if you are close to dying and you want to turn the fight around, or just to survive. Use your mantra at E on your initiator to deal damage to the whole enemy team. However, if you're sure you're going to lose the fight, use it to let your team run away instead. But of course, you don't need mantra to be useful during a teamfight. Use your shield to protect your own carries, because this is Karma's strength. Not only do you deal a lot of damage, you can also save important teammates so that they can deal more damage as well. And in the meantime, try to hit as many spells as possible to enable more uses of mantra.
An enemy has been slain.
Thank you for watching the second episode of my new series, Lessons of the League. I hope it was helpful to you, and if you want to see more episodes, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions about future episodes, leave a comment down below. For example, I could make it about another champion, but also about general gameplay tips. Anyway, thanks for watching and I hope to see you soon.